Welcome to the Intellectual Army. Do you want to be more self aware? I'm the serial intellectual, author of 10 books, two recently released Metamorphic Dictus and BU Encouragements for Authenticity. I'm also the creator of 6 original personal development tools designed to help you experience growth in self awareness, relational aptitude, personal skills, vocational effectiveness, and fulfillment in life. Now, listen, this question comes to me a lot. What can I do? How do I become better at self awareness? What are the practical steps? I'm going to give them to you. First, it's got to be a priority. Duh. But you know why self awareness isn't a priority? Because we don't even understand what it is. It's a buzzword. Everyone's saying it. But what is self awareness? Well, it's when you kind of know yourself. Good. And well, it's kind of, listen, this is what it is. Self awareness is knowing who I was, who I am, and who I'm likely to be. Let me say it another way. Self awareness is knowing what people are likely to experience when they're in relationship with you. That's what self awareness is. Self awareness is knowing what you're likely to be like in a certain scenario. So you can't change until you know what to change, right? Immorality, it kills its thousands, right? But self awareness kills its tens of thousands. What am I saying? What I'm saying is this: in every relational entity, organization, business, what you will find oftentimes, more times than not, the chief relational dysfunction, the chief characteristic is people not being self aware. So you're not going to value something until you understand how important it is. It is arguably the single greatest factor towards relational help. And when I talk about relational help, I'm not just talking about with a spouse or a loved one or a girlfriend, boyfriend, or parents. I'm talking about relationally. I'm not just talking about organizations, business. I'm talking about your relationship with everything. It doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter if it's a hobby, a sport, if you're a professional athlete, it doesn't matter. That's what self-awareness is. And that has to be prioritized. Number 2, many of us are religious. We're Jewish, we're Muslim, we're Christian, we're religious. Why not ask God? There's a psalm in the Bible that says, "Search me, O God, know my heart, try me, see if there's any evil way in me." I'm amazed at how many religious people really never ask God to help them in the area of self-awareness. The essence of religion really, and no matter what religion you're a part of, really is about a self-awareness journey. Who is God? And in light of that, who am I? And in light of that, how should I be doing what I'm doing? Number 3, read books for transformation, not information. One of the dangers of living in the age that we're in is we have so much access to information. And what that can do is it can trick us into thinking that if we expose ourselves to information, we are experiencing transformation. Not so. When you expose yourself to information, you're getting information. In order to experience transformation, you actually have to do something with the information that you have received. A lot of people are into information transactions. They're listening to that, going to this, learning this, taking this course, and yet their lives seemingly are often the same. If you don't want that to be you, and you actually want to grow in self awareness, you need to read books for transformation. Put a lot of I and me in it. Take notes when you read it. Share it with people. Ask people after you share it with them, "Hey, how do you think this applies to me? I was reading this book by such and such. I was listening to this podcast and I was thinking, how does this apply to me?" Ask somebody. Number 4, intentionally and consistently use self awareness tools. Now, what's a self awareness tool? Self awareness tool is something like the Enneagram or Myers Briggs. You guys know that I love the Enneagram, but you use these tools intentionally and consistently. A lot of times, what we see when people want to get better self awareness is they take a test And I don't like using the term test. You know why I don't like tests? Because test invites the idea that you're performing. I'm going to take a test. What do you want to do on a test? You want to do good on a test. You know what that does in terms of self awareness? It brings out your false self. You want to kind of show out. I want to do good. Or worse yet, I want the test to say this about me. So I'm going to present myself or answer in the test like this. Very dangerous. I like to call them profiles or something other. So people take these things and they want the answer, and then they get the answer, and sometimes they'll be like, "Oh, well, I'm a this or I'm a that." Okay, and and right? We use them regularly in consistency. Now that you know that the profile has said these are your characteristics and you become a little bit more aware, what are you doing with the information? How are you applying the information consistently and regularly so that you can become more self aware and you can be transformed? Here's another one. Ask your friends who they think you are. Ask your friends who they think you are. Now, you have to give your friends immunity. Actually, you don't. Your real friends don't need immunity because they can see into you and they can experience you. But if you have real friends, you can ask them, "Hey, what is it like being in a relationship with me? What do you experience when you are in a relationship with me?" And you may need to give them immunity so that they can say what they want and you can't be all offended. I believe when people really want to know who they are and they want to grow in self awareness, there is no greater tool, mechanism, way to be more self aware than relationships, real relationships that are secure, safe, where you can be vulnerable, and where you can have conversations like this. "Hey, what's it like when you're in a relationship with me? Hey, what am I like under stress? What am I like when I'm happy? What am I like when these things happen?" You become more self aware. Other people are your greatest resource when it comes to self awareness. Here's the challenge: many of you don't have people like that in your life. Some of you do. You should thank God for that. Here's another one: set aside and prioritize time to listen. To listen. Now, what am I listening to? You're listening to all of you, what you think, what you feel, not just emotions, but also you're listening to your body. You're setting aside time to listen. You're setting aside time to watch. You're watching. What am I watching? I'm watching myself. What am I like? What am I not like? That's how you grow in self-awareness. You set aside time to listen and to feel. And you say, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna put some pauses in my life so I can do that. Why? Because your body will tell you a lot about who you are. Your feelings will unravel the maze of who you are. Your thoughts will really bring to light who you are. And these are some of the ways you can grow in self awareness. Peace.